Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's ClaritySoft webinar. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, and our topic for today is how to email a holiday greeting from ClaritySoft. And we will be concentrating on using the marketing module, which some of you may or may not have, but it'll give you an idea of how that module works. I'm Susan Arnold, Clarity Implementation Specialist here at ClaritySoft. And so we will get started. What we're going to do today is, first of all, do a quick overview of the marketing module and how to set it up so you can send emails out. And then we will look at the contacts list, because you do your email actually from the contact module. You want to have a way to select the recipients through some sort of filter. So what I've done in my little database is set up a custom field called communications, and then I have a drop-down list of different types of communications that I might want to send out through the year. And then by assigning each contact to those types of communications, I can filter for them very quickly, and I'll show you how to do that. Once we've done that, then we will create an email template in the marketing module. So you learn how to do that. We will go back and select our recipients and then send the email to those recipients. And then the last thing is to view the results of the email being sent out in the marketing module, because it tracks those that have been the recipients. It tracks whether an email was delivered or whether it was bounced. It tracks when they last clicked on it to show you that they've read it and things like that. So we'll review that. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Switch to my ClaritySoft here. So the first thing we want to do, in your navigation panel over here, if you have the marketing module, it's probably not going to say marketing. It is going to say email manager. And so when you click on that, you will go to a screen that looks like this. If you do not have the marketing module, when you click on Email Manager, you will not see all of these tabs. You will only see email tracking. And email tracking basically shows you all of the emails that have been sent out, not using the marketing module, obviously, if you don't have it. But any emails that have been sent from within ClaritySoft during a span of time, then it will show you all the emails that you have sent out of ClaritySoft and what their results are. So like I said, some of you may have the marketing module and some of you may not. But this will give you an idea as to whether you want to get it. It's an add-on that you can talk to your account rep about. So when you have the marketing module, the first thing that you need to do is set up the emails that you want to send from. And the way this works is you set up an email. You can add as many as you like. So you put in the sender name, you put in the email address of that sender, and then click save, and it will add it to the list here. So when you are sending out a marketing email, you're able to pick which address you wish to send from. Now, how this works is when you change to one of your Clarity Mail addresses in the from, it actually switches it over to the email server that allows you to send out more than just a few emails at a time. So it's like it's a special server that allows you to send, 1,000 emails at one time, or 500 or 10,000. It depends on how many you purchase per month, but it's on a monthly basis. So that's the difference between using the marketing module and then just using your normal email going out of ClaritySoft, because your normal email is going out through your Outlook and or your Gmail, and there are restrictions on how many emails you can send at one time. Before you get flagged as sending out spam. So the marketing module allows you to go out through our email server that we've set up. So you set up your emails here. Once you have that done, then you go back to your contacts. And as I said, what we want to have here is a way to easily filter our contacts to pull up a list. And it can be for holiday greetings, it can be for product promotions, whatever you want. So what I've done in my contacts module is I have added a custom field called communications. You could call it mail lists, you could call, whatever you want to call it. And I made it a multi-select drop-down type list so that each of the people can have, more than one option selected. And then when I filter on a particular option, that person will come up for anything that has been selected for that person. So you can do that. And if you are a admin user in your database and you have not done this, then all you need to do is go to settings, go to customization, go to contacts, and then you have your list of custom fields. Click the add button to add, if I wanted to put in mail list, and then I would make it a drop-down multi-select. So I can pick more than one option, and then I can put in whatever ones I want. And you may have already done this already. So I'll just say promotional. And just type as many types of lists as you know you want, and then save it. Now, once you've done this, you do have to remember that after you've created a custom field, you have to go to your user interface template, your user UI template, and go to the contact UI template. And then here, if you are using multiple access profiles for your team, then you'd probably want to pick the base template, which is the master template. There's my new field. I can drag it over here. This doesn't match what I already have somewhere else. What I have. Oh, there's a communication. So let me see here. So I've got these two, and then I would save this. And once I save it to the master template, then I can copy it to my other templates that I want to copy to. Okay. So I've got my field set up a little differently here, but that's okay. We're only worried about this one. And I usually just check them all, and then they're all the same, and then save it. Now, once you've done this, then you need to log out. And log back in. And your new field will then be added. So if you are an admin user in your database, then you would be able to do this. If you're not, you might have to talk to whomever is your admin user. Once you get that field in there, then obviously you're going to have to go to the records and edit those records to fill in the data. So here's the new field I just added right there, okay? So you might have to do some updating, but remember there is group editing function in ClaritySoft, or you could perhaps even do a update import into your contacts. So there are different ways to do it. And then usually what I would like to do is I like to have my field that I'm working with in the columns so that I can see that there's data. For example, here's a person that doesn't have any data. And if I click to sort, I will get all of those that are blank. So I have quite a few people here that need to have their fields filled in. Okay, so you can do that. The other thing, when you're sending an email, you do have the capability of merging in the person's name or the company name. And in the contact record, you have the person's first and last name that is entered here. So you can pull in the first name field. But we also have this salutation field, which can be used if a person has a nickname. And I usually, the people I work with, I strongly recommend that you use that salutation field and fill it in as you work with your people. Because when you're sending them some sort of a communication, especially something like maybe a holiday greeting that you're going to address individually, you don't have to address it individually. You want to address them by the name that you call them. So for example, if Susan is her official name, but she goes by Sue or Susie, then you would want to have Sue in the salutation field. Or if William goes by Bill, or if Richard goes by Dick, or whatever, then the salutation field becomes important to fill in and have that correct. And if I do this, so again, what I usually do is I will pull into my columns both the contact name and the salutation so I can see that my field is filled in. And then I know, that if I use the salutation field as the merge field, I'm going to have something there when it does the actual merging into the document. Okay, so we have our list and our communications and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to search for my contacts now just to kind of confirm my list before we build our template. So I'm going to go to the spyglass button, advanced search. And then I'll go to my communications field and select special holiday. That's the one I want. And I have this one set up because I know all of these emails work. There is one here. This one needs fixed. I did this one on purpose to make it bounce, but I think I don't want to make it bounce today. So I'm going to change this one. Okay. So I have my list where I can see special holiday. I can also see that I do have a salutation for everybody. So I can either use my first name field or my salutation field. And it's just a way for you to confirm that. And then the other thing you can do with these different lists that you've created with your communications, you can save this. When you use the advanced search view, you can click on this Save View button and say this is the special holiday list. Then once that's saved, it shows up here in the drop down, so I can easily switch to all contacts, which is 215, or I can then go right here to special holiday list. And here's promotional email list. If I chose promotional, then it would have everybody that's on the promotional communications list. So these views are really nice because you can create them, create the filter, and then save your view, and then it's easy to go right back to it and pull it up very quickly. So my list is ready. Now I'm going to go back to my marketing or email manager module here. And the next step is the creative part to create your template that you want to send. So in the marketing module, we have the templates tab. And when you click on it, you see a tab here called My Templates that will show you all the templates that you have created and saved. The Share tab will show you templates that someone else has created and saved and then shared with you. So these are some from our graphics person who created some really good, cool things here, just so you can get an idea that you can do some really creative things with this. And so what we're going to do is create a template. This opens a new window tab with the email template builder. And on the left here, we have a panel which currently is showing us the different type of blocks that we can insert into our template. Once we select a block, it will come over here, and then you can add the text to the block, and then you continue to build by adding additional blocks to your template. So once you do that, then you have a contents tab that allows you to format, adjust the content, and the style allows you, style is for formatting, content is more for showing different things. So I'm going to start with a header title, and you can just simply click the add button. It will place it over here, and then I can click over here and edit my text. And then once I have that text, I can click on the content tab, and it's really going to tell me there isn't anything to do with that, but the style tab will give me the ability to change the font, to change the color, to change the size and the alignment. So if I wanted a different font, then I can pick a different font. If I want to change the color of the font, then I can click on it, put it in a nice bright red. If I wanted it bigger, then I can make it larger, okay? So each of these tabs here, once you pick your block, then allows you to control what's in here, all right? So I have that one. Then I can come back on the left, and I want to choose another block. And what I want for this is just this text block. And all you have to do here is take this out and start typing. So I'm going to type hello. I'm making this a bit of a letter. And we are going to merge a field in here later. So I'm just put all right. Try to keep this as short as possible. Okay, and then I'm putting this, and I'm putting here, may you and your team at, and then I'm going to later insert the company name. Okay, so I have that in. Now what I want to do is format this, so I can come over here to my style, and I can change the font again to this one, and if I wanted to change the color, I could. I can make the size a little bit bigger. All right, and then what I want to do here is I actually want to change this one itself. And so notice when I select the text here, I get a formatting bar up above. So here I can click on, oops, that's background color. I can click on this and I can set this to the red, and then I can make this alignment center. I can change the headings. Now this is kind of interesting. The lower the number of the heading, the larger the print. Okay, so if I choose heading 1, I'm going to get the largest print. If I choose heading 3, I get smaller print. So it's kind of, to me, that's sort of backwards, but whatever. So that works. And then you can choose, maybe you want to italicize this or something like that. So again, you can work with it to make it look the way you want it to look, okay? And so I've put that text block in. Then I want to come back over here on the left, and I next want to put in an image. So notice here you have combination blocks. So you can have a block with an image and then a title and then text and a button. Now I'm going to plop one of these in here just for purpose of showing you this. When you add this, you have these different components of this block. And that's where the content tab comes into play. Because if I click on the content tab and I say, well, I really don't want this title, I can come over here where it says show title, turn it off. Okay. If I don't want this button, I can turn it off. Then you can change the image size to small. You can make it medium, which it was, or big. So you get to choose things that have to do with the content of the block. So when you look at a block, look at all its components and then say, oh, well, I want this block, but I don't want the title, or I don't need the button here, or whatever. And know that you can change it. So that's what you can do. And then your image, whatever image you drop in here, you can put a link on it that when they click on the image could take them, you know, to your web page or something like that. So, and then you can type in alternative text in case the image doesn't download when they receive it before they click on the download pictures in Outlook. It can show, you know, have a alternative text as what the image is. That sometimes helps you get through the spam filters more easily if you do that. So I just wanted to show you that. And then if I don't want this block, I can just point to it and click the little trash can and it deletes it. So explore your blocks. There's a lot of creative things you can do with these. And notice down here, there are even social media blocks down here. So the next one I want to put in is just a single picture. And it puts it in. Now when I point to the block or the image, there's an upload picture. And I click on that. And then you'll go search out your picture. Because I already did this earlier to save time, I'm pointing to the right folder. So I have some images here. And then I'm going to choose this one. And so then I have that in here. And again, I can have a transparent background or not. I can set the image to be a bigger image if I want it bigger. Okay. And if I wanted to add a link to it, then I could type that there. So I've got that. So I've got 3 blocks in here. And down at the bottom, notice it has an unsubscribe. This is something really important anymore. There are so many new laws that have been written about sending out marketing type emails to, you know, to hundreds, thousands of people at a time. And they're getting more and more strict on this, that you need to have an unsubscribe option at the bottoms of your emails. If you're doing that kind of blankets, you know, mass email type of thing. And so this already has that block built in for you. So this is here. Now, the other thing that you can do while you're working on this, over here, this little button, this doesn't have any label until you point to it, is Show Live Preview. And if you click on it, it opens a panel here, and then down at the bottom, you have 3 ways to view your email. Currently, it's on the smartphone view. This is a normal monitor view, and this is a tablet view. So you can test to see that it's going to look nicely in all the formats when you send it, okay? And then to turn that off again, you just click the button, turns it off. If you want to send a test email, just to test it before you send it out to 500 people, then you click this and you put in your email address and then send it. So you can send it to yourself or to somebody else, and then it will send it. And then what you have to watch when you receive it, the from is going to be all kind of crazy characters. Don't panic about that, because it's going to be from you when it sends. It's going to be from you at ClaritySoft. Now, if you do get into the marketing module and you're sending out a lot of emails, you can purchase your own domain so that when you do send it out through ClaritySoft's marketing module, you'll have your own domain name and it will come directly from your company. And if you're interested in that, then you can talk with your account rep. All right, so I've got my email set up, my template. Now I need to save it. So this is going to be category will be default. That's the only one that's there. Template access is private or shared. It doesn't really matter because you can share it afterwards. And then the subject line, this is the subject line that's going to go into the email when you open the template. So you can put in from us to you or something like that. Then you choose, well, what is this? I'm going to make it a commercial email, because where this is important is if they unsubscribe and it's a commercial email, then they're only unsubscribing from commercial type emails from you. They would still could receive newsletter emails unless they also unsubscribe from those. So these allow you to have multiple unsubscribes for your different lists. So that's what that's for. All right, so I have my template saved here. All right, and so that's ready to go. Now I go back to my contacts. I have my list. So I need to select my recipients by clicking in the top checkbox. Then I go to the List Actions menu. And notice there are 2 options here, email contacts and marketing email. If you have the marketing module, then you will see marketing email. If you do not, you will only see email contacts. This would send out through your Outlook or Gmail, okay? This will send out through the marketing module, which is what we want. And then it says all selected records marked as checked or all filtered records. If you have a list of, 1,000 or 500 or even 200, then you definitely are going to choose all filtered records, because the check marks only go for the first page. So if you only had 20 viewing per page here, it would only select the first 20 records. And if you have 500, then 480 are going to be selected. So you would almost always do all filtered records. Click Apply. And then it opens the email window. It will have a list of your recipients over here, and it will tell you at the bottom how many you have. Then this is the important one. The from is select a sender. When you click on this, you're going to select which ClaritySoft mail sender you want to send from. So I'm going to choose myself. Then it says add a subject and add a campaign, but we don't need to do that because when we open our template, that will be there. Now, the other thing it's showing here is my signature. By default, I've got that turned on. Well, I don't really want a signature in this email. So I'm going to come up here where it says signature and choose no signature. And that clears it out. Then I'll click on template. And here is my holiday greetings template. When you're clicking on these, do not click on the link. Always click on the icon. If you click on the link, you'll end up opening a web page, and that's not where you want to go. So click on the icon. It will open the email, and you can view it here. Now, when I was creating the template, I said that I wanted to put the person's name in here. This is where I can insert the fields. So I can click here by hello, type the space, and then I can choose either first name or salutation. So I'm going to pick salutation because I know that mine are all good, and then click OK. That will insert the field. Then down here, I said, may you and your team at, and I want to insert the company name. So I'm going to insert this, and here I'm going to choose account core name. The difference between account and account core name is that the account core name will only be the account name. It will not include any data that might be in the site field. So you always want to pick that in case you've used the site field in some of your records. So I'm going to put that in. Now, and then I'm going to hit a space here. Now the other thing that I need to do is this text is in red, and right now this text is going to come in black. So I would need to select this text for the field. Oops. Then first of all, I need to set the font so it matches the font. And then I think this was 16. Nope, definitely not. I'm going to change that whole thing in a minute. And then I want to set the color of the text to red. So I've got that. So that's going to be the, oops, that's the background. I did that before. Hold on. No fill. Here's the color. Okay, so I now have my set, but I'm going to select all of this and change this so I know it's the right size. Okay. All right, so I've got that. So now when that comes in, it should pull in the company name and it should pull in the person's name. Now I'm also going to select this text and just make sure the font is what I want. Okay, so I have that. Everything looks good, and I'm ready to send it. Okay, so then I can come down here and I can just click send, or I can click on this little drop-down list, and then I can say when to send it, in an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, in 2 days, whenever. So you can line up your emails. You might send out different campaigns at, line them all up at once and then stagger them as to how to schedule. And you can even set a specific time. Okay. Now, before I click send, I do want to mention one more thing here. Is up here, when I pulled in the template, it also put in the subject line and it put in the campaign name, the same subject line. So I may want to take this out and put in 2019 Happy Holidays greeting. Okay, now this is still my subject line. And then once I have that, this is not going to show for the recipient. This is for you. So it can be anything you want. So now if I click send, and then it tells me you're about to send to 7 contacts. If you're sending it out to 1,000, it would tell you you're sending it out to 1,000. And then it will go out. And in a couple minutes, I will have the emails coming in. But you can go back to your marketing module, and under the campaign tracking tab now you can see this is queued to go out, the date, who is sending it, what module, how many are outgoing, how many have been delivered. So far, none have gone out. So what's happening now, this is queued at the email server, and it's waiting to go out, okay? And you can see I sent one yesterday to the same 7 people. All of them went out except one bounced. That one email that I fixed bounced. So it tells you if it bounced, and then you can know who it came back. And you can observe, here, you'll see a campaign overview of how many were delivered, how many were dropped. So 6 were delivered, 1 was dropped because it bounced, okay? And then you can start to see when people opened and clicked it. So yesterday, 4 of them were opened, okay? Today, none of them. And then the recipients are here, so it gives you a list of all of the recipients, and it tells you the status, and then how many times it's been read and when. So those are things, and how many, which person unsubscribed. So once a person unsubscribes, it does ping back, and the system then knows the next time you send an email to that special holiday group, the guy that unsubscribed will not receive one, okay? So it does keep track of that. So these are still queued. Now, wait a minute, I think I saw some things coming in. Too many things on my second monitor here. Oh. Yep, there they are. So I have received 4. The open one. So there's the email. So this says up here, Susan Arnold at claritysoft.com, claritymail.com on behalf of. So this is how it will come to your people. They will see that it's from the address that you put into your Clarity Mail, okay? And then it'll say from Clarity Mail on behalf of you at your email address. Now, if you purchase your own domain, then it will have your own email address here without all this other stuff, okay? But you can see it comes in, and just like normal, you have to, right-click to download your pictures. And then you see your holiday greeting. Down here, it says was sent by Acme Company to, and that'll have the person's email. And then if they want to unsubscribe, they can click there to unsubscribe. Now this here, the Acme Company, in the database under settings, let me go back to it. there is my information. If you fill in all this address information here, then that should appear in the unsubscribe. It will have the full address, city, state, and zip for your company in there. So you can go fill that in and make sure every user fills that in, and then that will appear correctly in the emails. So that's how to send it. Now, if you don't have the marketing module, I just want to go over this really quickly because I don't know if all of you do or not. But if you don't have the marketing module, you still can send out a mass email, but you just want to be sure you don't send out thousands. You want to stay, you know, under maybe like 150, 200. You might need to check with your service provider to see what your limits are so you don't go over them. But, you know, you can choose your mail list like we've done here, but where you'll need to create your template is in settings under email templates. And then you can basically, you don't have as much capability for, you know, creating the really pretty graphics kind of things, but this is what I was able to do, where I put it in and I use first name here, and I didn't put the same message in, but you can type your message. And the way I got these two things to be side by side rather than top to bottom is I inserted a table. And if you insert a table, then you give yourself a place to place an image and have image control. Otherwise, the image just comes in and, oh, here, let me do this real quick. So I can come here and I can insert a table, and then I can say the table is 2 rows and 1 column, or it's 2 columns and 1 row. If you want them side by side, if you want them top to bottom, you can do what I'm doing here. Border size is 0, okay? And then alignment, you can say center it. And then the width, you can play with this a little bit. Let me put this in here. So there's my table, and I can paste my text in to that cell, and then I can click in the other cell and I can go to image, and then I can put an image in. Now, when you get here, what you have to do is go to this upload tab, go find your file, and I'll put this one in for something different. And then once it has it, you click send it to the server. It will return you back to here and give you a preview. And over here is the size of the file, of the picture. And you have this little padlock. You want to make sure this is locked. If this is unlocked, then if you change a dimension here, the other one won't change proportionally. So you want to make sure this is locked. Usually it is, but always check it. And then you might want to, you know, back this down to say 500, and then see it automatically adjust the height. And then you can click OK to put that in, and you've put this together here. And then you can format it. All right. So you can do it in here, but if you do it in here, use the table to be able to block things off. And then that will help you have some control of your images. The other thing you can do, if you have other software where you can develop your template, your graphic layout, this is all being done in HTML coding, and you can go to HTML code format here, which will then give you the code. So what you could do is in your other program, if it allows you to see what you've developed in HTML code, you can switch to the HTML code. Then I'll cancel this one. You can come here, add a new template, click on the code or source code button, click in here and paste your code down. And then once you turn off the source code button, you'll have all your images, all your text, all your formatting. So it can be done that way too. So a lot of capabilities that way to get around some of the, I guess, shortcomings or lack of sophistication in the email templates. And then again, once you save those email templates, they will be available to you to send. So if I go back here to my people, and now I select them, and I do email contacts. And again, I would do all filtered records, although here, like I said, you want to keep it down below certain numbers so you don't get in trouble. And then you can, again, turn off your signature if you don't want it. Go to templates, and you'll have all of the same templates here. So here's that holiday message that we were looking at. There it is. And then I can send it. So that one is being built in the email templates, and the other one was built in the marketing templates. And they all show up together. So you can send an email built template through the marketing module, or you can send you won't have, if you don't have the marketing module, then you won't have the email builder there, but then anything you build in email templates will be there. Okay, so that's how to send a holiday greeting. I think you can have some fun with it and send it out. Just another word of caution on the images that you send out. Make sure they're not copyrighted in any way so you don't get in trouble with that. There are a lot of things out on the internet, so you just need to make sure that it's not a copyrighted image, and then you should be fine with that. And then everything else should come together and go on out. So if you don't have any questions, we'll go back to our PowerPoint here. Thank you again for attending, and hopefully you learned some things today. We kind of did a lot of little review of different kinds of things to pull it together. If you have any questions, then you can call our support team at 888-838-7487 extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. And if you have any ideas for new webinars or critiques on things you've heard, then please let us know at info@claritysoft.com. And this is our last webinar for 2019, so we hope to see you in 2020. Have a good holiday season with your family and friends, and we'll see you in 2020.